Alright guys, it's me, the Tycoon, coming back to you with another review, and this is of Abbott Elementary Season 4 Overview. So let's get into this. Ding 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 ding! Class is back in session, guys. It's a brand new school year and the teachers have returned. The whole gang is here, and this is a really wonderful season. This is the best season so far out of the Abbott Elementary series. And more importantly, I think this is the best mockumentary comedy or drama out there on TV at this moment in time. But that's my personal opinion. And it's really amazing watching the growth and development of each and every character. The best thing about this series is that the heart that is in it. And no one character is more popular than the other character. Everyone's given an equal and intriguing storyline to keep your eyes peeled and watch. It also gives 4 separate story arcs, all leading along to one another and culminating across the entire school year. And that's the big thing with this season, is that it deals with the entire school year. There's a break in between and you see that. And within that break, you see that the teachers are not taking a break themselves. They are doing other things. And I'll get into that in a little bit later. Now, I did say that I was going to review this after my Abbott Elementary Season 3 review. And I love this series. You know, the heart that's in it is amazing. The writing, the acting, it is just top notch. But the story arcs are what keeps you going, because there's a genuine emotion and invested interest in it. You want to see people succeed. So the story arcs start off with the golf club. There's a new golf club which has been given permission to develop in Philadelphia, in the city, Philadelphia. That's the funny thing about it, and it's causing so much disruption. And part of this, to keep the schools quiet that are affected by the development of the golf club, is to bribe them. So of course, Ava Coleman knows how to hustle, and she does a great job of getting in the needed resources paid for by the golf club, who can then use it as a tax write-off. And it's quite interesting in what they also do as a golf club as well, because they use the students to promote their golf club as being something that's worthy for a PGA tour. How's that? By showing diversity. They're using that as much as they can. And it's quite amusing how they do it too. But further to that, you also see the buses take a strike. The strike action that is taken by the bus companies, it has a detrimental effect on all students and teachers, to the point whereby Janine has to take actions into her own hands to try and get pupils from their homes to school. Otherwise, their education will suffer far greatly, especially for the senior students who are now going to be looking to go out from elementary school into high school. And this also plays a massive factor as well. Finally, Ava Coleman. She, and spoiler alerts here, she gets fired. And she gets fired. As she gets fired, you see Gregory step up to act as the acting principal, which the job was. He wanted to go for that originally. He should have got the job originally, but Ava Coleman, originally, as you see in the first series, she was the right person at the right time who spotted the scandal and used it to her advantage. And that's how she got the job. Yeah. This is, again, it all merges into one story arc, which is the school year. And it's so wonderfully done. But every character is given their own challenges along the way. Janine's come back into the teaching environment. Gregory's now having a relationship with Janine. They're finally getting together and try and keep it as quiet as possible, because there is implication, and you see that along the way. But Gregory almost gets into a dad fight, which is quite funny as well, because again, I mean, different themes are coming through loud and clear on this one. Melissa, she's going through her relationship troubles. She can't commit to anyone, and they don't want to commit back because people move on. And she's starting to recognize, as she's getting older, that time is running out. Jacob has regrown. Yes, he's still dorky, he's still got the ideology and the naivety, but he's also having relationship issues. He gets into a breakup with his partner, and his partner moves on. He struggles, and you see that the karaoke night with the song that he picks, which is actually really well done. Really well done. Barbara herself is now going into that time of her life where she's been in teaching for over 30 years. She's coming close to retirement, and now she's contemplating it, especially as her daughter is having a child and is now looking to move back to Philadelphia and possibly move in with her, which she doesn't want. Barbara doesn't want that. But she's recognizing that life is moving on. And Ava herself is having many different relationship issues. One of them is finding a partner who's into her, and she's struggling because she doesn't know how to bring it down. She's tone deaf in many aspects and feels like she's quite ghetto. But you also see a lot of the relationships she had with her father is non-existent. The father clearly wasn't present in her life, and that made her a tough person. The final one is, of course, Mr. Johnson. You actually find out that all the stories that Mr. Johnson has told were real. And that's proved by Jill Scott in one episode, which is really funny. There's also another standout episode as well, which is a crossover episode with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And you actually see Charlie Day's character. You understand why he behaves the way he does. And Barbara is there to help sort that all out and does an amazing job. But there's a lot of other things that go on within the series as well. And one of the big things that goes on is outside of the documentary, like the interpersonal relationships within the school. You see Barbara is struggling with the librarian, expertly played by Cree Summer. It's great seeing her again in this sort of environment. And it's a conflict of ideologies that are taking place. She's coming from the old school, and Cree Summer is embracing the new way of getting education delivered to these kids. And that's through opening up everyone's minds in terms of the books which are out there, which leads to another issue, the parents getting involved. And all the usual things are kicking in again. So the parents are not happy with the books that are being taught because it goes against a lot of their philosophies that are at home. And then you've also got the PTA getting involved as well. The PTA is doing their part. It's an amazing way how things are being juggled as well. And outside of the school environment, because they actually take a break, they deliberately take a break within the series. Within that 22 episodes, they have 2 weeks off. But within that 2 weeks off, they show that they have a district budget meeting. And within that, you see the bureaucracy really kicking in and the limitations that are there that are being put in by the district in terms of funding. They flat out refuse a lot of people their funding requests. But because of the golf club supplying all the resources, Ava Coleman and Jacob expertly go in and negotiate for the entire school district the resources that are needed to ensure that their kids do not suffer. Not just Abbott Elementaries, but all the other schools. But that leads to, again, more animosity, more jealousy, and the rivalry that you see with some of the characters, with Ava Coleman outside of her school, with Tatiana Ali's character as the rival head teacher that didn't win. That is funny because Ava can't keep her mouth shut, and that leads to her getting fired. They work to get her reinstated, and they do. Spoiler alert, guys. But there's too many characters that have actually come into this series, and it's great seeing Ashley from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's wonderful seeing her in this role. There's way too many characters, way too many things that take place. Even Bradley Cooper comes in as a cameo in the beginning. That's brilliant. As always, guys, whichever platform you're watching this on, give me a like, give me a follow, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you guys don't know how to do that, you'll need to go back to school. So says the Tycoon.